If Facebook were a country, it would have the third largest population, right behind China and India. There are over 465 million accounts on Twitter, with over 175 million tweets per day. 72 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Vine, Snapchat. Chances are you have an account on one, if not more, of those services. In fact, you're probably even using a program that wasn't even invented yet when we filmed this video.
It's scary to know that what we put on and out there is there for many years to come, probably in most cases.
The programs you use on the internet, on your smartphone, on your tablet or netbook, these all go into creating your digital identity. Almost all of us have one. Our digital identity was created the moment we made our first username, screen name, or profile. Over the years, it has been crafted by our posts, our games, our photos, and videos. Every step we've taken through cyberspace has left behind a digital footprint. What kind of things do you tend to post online? And how much thought do you give to choosing or creating them? What would you not post? What mental processes do you go through in deciding what to post, when, and how? Do you have a different personality, presentation, or persona on different sites or services? If so, why? And how do they differ? How do you think you are perceived online? You might think you have total control over your digital identity. Your Twitter is protected. Your Facebook account doesn't use your real name, maybe your first and middle name. You use some music lyric as your Instagram handle. The only people who can see what you post are the people you let see you post. But the truth is, once you post something, anything, that post is no longer yours. That photo can be right-clicked and saved or screen captured. Yes, even from Snapchat. That tweet that only your friends can see, well, they can retweet it by copying and pasting it. The night that President Obama was re-elected to a second term, social media was inundated with posts reacting to the news. Some of those posts took a racist turn, as many took to Twitter to express how they felt. The online website, Jezebel.com, decided to copy some of those tweets and post the names of the authors. Many were teenagers in high school who never thought of the ramifications of their actions. Now, when someone does a Google search for their names, one of the results will be this webpage, where their picture will be displayed next to one racist moment. Your online identity is also something others can control, and you need to do your best to manage it.
It is more change, I think, than any of us have seen in our lifetimes. I think there's a certain naivety out there on the parts of job applicants. I don't think, I'll use the generic we, I don't think we have any idea how much digitally is getting out there, and I want to say falling into the hands of employers. That makes it sound bad on the employer's part, but they're getting what they can, and I believe using it.
A negative digital identity can impact your future job prospects. Many companies now search candidates' social media profiles prior to making a hiring decision. In a recent CareerBuilder.com survey, 43% of hiring managers said they found information that led them not to hire a prospective candidate.
Well, I think employers have always tried to access information. It's become much easier now, and employees are making it that much easier, applicants I should say, to do so. But for instance might be, if somebody's applying for a job as a camp counselor and they put on their Facebook page, little blank blank blank, I hate kids or something to that effect, that's something that an employer could legally say, we're not hiring you for this reason.
The most common red flags for employers include suggestive photos, references to alcohol or drug use, bad-mouthing other individuals, poor use of language such as text speak, use of discriminatory language, and false information.
Applicants must be more cautious than ever before. The High Court ruling in 1979 said that there's no reasonable expectation of privacy. Wall Street Journal just ran this article recently. There's an adage I heard somebody say once, somebody from Google actually said, what happens in Vegas stays on Facebook in perpetuity.
Your digital identity might not just cost you a future job, but also the one you have now. A quick Google search can find pages upon pages of stories of how someone's social media post led him or her to be fired. There's the Wendy's employee who was fired for an Instagram photo of him eating directly from the Frosty machine. A Denver math teacher was fired because of her inappropriate tweets about her students and what she liked to do in her spare time.
An Overland High School math teacher accused of posting inappropriate material on Twitter is no longer employed by the Cherry Creek School District. 23-year-old Carly McKinney was placed on paid administrative leave in January after inappropriate tweets and photos showed up on her Twitter account. McKinney told 9 News, 9 wants to know, that she did not personally tweet all the messages and that the Carly Crunk Bear account was supposed to be a joke.
Australian miners were fired because of a YouTube video of them performing a version of the Harlem Shake dance. A former barista who started what he thought was an anonymous blog that complained about both his employer and customers was fired after the company was able to figure out who it was that was calling himself the Bitter Barista. For those of you interested in transferring to another college, your digital identity can also impact your chances of being accepted. 26% of college admissions officers use Facebook or other social networking pages to research an applicant. 27% of college admissions officers have Googled an applicant to learn more about them. 35% of admissions officers who Googled or visited an applicant's Facebook page discovered something about an applicant that negatively impacted their application. In 2011, this statistic was only 12%. Now, this doesn't mean you have to wipe all your profiles clean. It wouldn't matter anyway, because everything you've posted has been saved somewhere. As Seth Godin said, everything you do now ends up in your permanent record. The best plan is to overload Google with a long tail of good stuff and always act as if you're on candid camera, because you are. As we said before, almost everyone has a digital identity. In fact, to not have one would look suspicious to a future employer or a potential college admissions officer. What you need to do is to make sure that your digital identity is overwhelmingly a positive one. So what should you do?